that win did come at a cost as Penny was hurt and had to leave the game. It's day baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. The Angels and Cardinals in Game 2 of their 3-game series. Welcome to Cardinals baseball, along with Al Rabowski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Al, the Cardinals get Kyle Loesch on the mound today, and last start very good as he rediscovered in many ways that sinker. He pounded that in the zone and had great success.
It's very simple. He just concentrated on that sinking fastball. He threw that primarily early in the season. He felt good, so he's utilizing all of his pitches to negative results. But hopefully he found something that last start, and he can add to it here today.
So it's Kyle Loesch. He'll get the start this afternoon for the Cardinals, and when we come back, it's a special afternoon. Pre-game ceremony for the Pujols Family Foundation. Back with more in a moment.
So, but I think it was a combination of everything, you know, just seeing how successful I was in the field and then off the field, how we were getting involved so much with the community, and we wanted to grow, you know, and God gave me the opportunity to do that. We want to change life for those kids with Down syndrome and give a better life, and through God we'll be able to do that through our foundation. We are blessed to be in the city, not just to love sport, but love to help others.
More on the Pujols Family Foundation. Here's Fox Sports Midwest broadcaster Rick Horton.
Thanks, John. Joining me here are, to my far right, Jack Donovan, Senior Vice President and General Manager of Fox Sports Midwest. Cardinals Vice President and General Manager John Mozeliak. Michael Hall, Vice President and Group Director, Community Outreach and Cardinals Care. Todd Perry, Executive Director and CEO of the Pujols Family Foundation. President of the Board of Aldermen for the City of St. Louis, Louis Reed. Missouri Senator Claire McCaskill. And Albert and Didi Pujols. Faith, family, others. That is the cornerstone of the Pujols Family Foundation. Albert and Deidre, your foundation has gone above and beyond for people with Down syndrome, other disabilities, and families living in difficult situations in the Dominican Republic. So to help celebrate the foundation's 5th anniversary, we want to acknowledge your contributions to help make our world a better place. As a symbolic representation of the feelings of all Cardinal fans for the work of the Pujols Family Foundation, we present you with an honorary resolution from the St. Louis Board of Aldermen. And a congratulatory statement entered into the United States Congressional Record. Now, on behalf of the foundation, here is Albert and Deidre Pujols.
Albert and I would just like to thank each and every one of you. We cannot run a foundation the level that we've been able to do without first God, without our family, and without the Cardinals and all its fans. So from the bottom of our hearts, we would like to thank you all for your time, your prayers, and your resources that you provide to our foundation so that we can go out into the community and out into the nation, into Albert's native Dominican Republic, and make a change for the better. Thank you.
Albert, Deidre, Todd, and all those who serve and supported the Pujols Family Foundation, on behalf of the entire St. Louis community, we congratulate you on 5 wonderful years and wish you continued success. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the Pujols Family Foundation.
Baseball coming up this afternoon. Congratulations to Albert and Didi Pujols. Back with more in just a moment. Our keys to the game is presented by Toyota, and Kyle Loesch has given up 33 runs this year, but 25 of those have been earned, so it's a differential of 8. Combined total of 12 for the other 4 pitchers of those earned runs, and the differential that's tied for most in the major leagues, 6 in the last 2 starts for Kyle Loesch. So even though the defense has let him down at times, he's looking for his second win today. Interleague Game 2, Cardinals and Angels coming up. Lineup cards, some news here at the ballpark. We'll tell you about that when we come back to Busch Stadium. Finish, it's what we do. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. By Steak and Shake, life needs flavor. By Chevy's Expert Auto Service. See your Mid-America Chevy dealers or shop and compare at stlchevy.com. And by the Casino Queen and Casino, home of the loosest slots. Big crowd here today at Busch Stadium in St. Louis as we take a look at the Angels lineup. Ibar, Kendrick, Abreu, then Hunter, Morales, Matsui, Napoli, Franzen, and Kazmir, the Southwest Airlines starting lineup for the Angels against Kyle Loesch. And the first pitch is a strike, and we're underway. Our Marshall Wireless Sprint starter, Kyle Loesch, making his 9th start of the year. He's 1-3. ERA is over 5, but as we showed you moments ago, his last start, very good one.
Very good one, and found or rediscovered, pounded that sinking fastball, and let's see if he doesn't do the same MO here.
Eric Ibar with a .306 on base percentage as a leadoff hitter. And you'd like to see that a little bit higher out of your number one spot in the lineup, especially with a guy like Mike Scioscia, who wants speed at the top of the lineup and wants to get guys in motion.
He's in the league leaders with infield hits. Hits much better at home than on the road. And you could say that about several of these Angels, as they are 8-13 on the road. Historically, they're usually a very good road team, but not this year.
Hit .312 a year ago. That was the best he's ever hit. His brother is a member of the Tampa Bay Rays, and this is a high fly ball out to right. Ludwig back near the wall, and he's got it. Just enough room. So Ibar retired to start the game. And the defense behind Kyle Loesch here this afternoon. Holiday, Rasmus, Ludwig in the outfield. Freeze, Ryan, Lopez, and Pujols on the infield. And the battery today, Kyle Loesch and Jason LaRue. That's a look at your starting lineup. Here's Howie Kendrick, who's hitting .269 with a couple of home runs. He's driven in 19. First 4 innings seemed to take about an hour and a half to 2 hours last night. Then the relievers got in, and the pace picked up. Relievers on both sides really pitched quickly.
Well, the Cardinals scored all 9 of their runs in the first 3 innings.
Pujols over and runs out of room. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, nobody on. Very nice ceremony that we saw there with Albert Pujols and his wife Dee Dee, and congratulations to those two and the Pujols Family Foundation. Really has come a long, long way.
I was very impressed how moved you were.
They do a great job with it, and kids in this area, and certainly the folks in the Dominican. It's another fly ball out to right. Ludwig there. Actually did a video for them for the foundation a few years ago, Al. They took a home recorder to the Dominican Republic, and some of the images that they came back with were just incredible, of kids that don't have shoes. You know, some did not have clothes. And Albert Pujols, along with his wife, are truly hands-on. I mean, when they are there, they're helping out the doctors and the dentists that they bring and trying to provide clothing and food for these families. And we've seen what he's done here in town with the Down Syndrome Association and Buddy Walk. That gets a lot of publicity, but behind the scenes, you know, he truly, literally is hands-on.
Dan, I've played in the Dominican 4 different times in winter ball and seen the larger cities, the capital, Santo Domingo, and the poverty there. You can only imagine, or you probably can't imagine what it is in the, you know, way out in the bushes, and that's where they went, is to really help those that didn't even really know Albert. You know, the word spread of his fame, but those people are so poor they really don't know anything about him. But they,
oh, he's told me they had no idea who he was.
Exactly, but they knew that here was a man and a foundation with a helping hand.
Bobby Abreu to Pujols, flips to Loesch, and a good start for Kyle. Angels go 1-2-3. Saturday afternoon from Busch Stadium as we move to the bottom of the first. And a look at Tony La Russa's lineup with Felipe Lopez, who's at second base, the switch hitter. Then Ludwig and Pujols. Holiday moves to 4 as Pujols is at 3. Then Freeze, Rasmus, LaRue, Ryan, and Kyle Loesch. Southwest Airlines starting lineup, and Scott Kazmir, who has bounced around a little bit, surprisingly so too. A very talented lefty. Opponents hitting 295 against him, and that record is 2-4.
Originally drafted by the Mets, one of the most highly decorated minor league pitchers, went to Tampa Bay, now on to the Angels. He hurt his arm a couple years ago, really kind of lost his slider. He has won 59 career major league games, and the Angels are the only team in baseball that have all 5 of their starters have at least 50 major league wins.
He was born in Houston and lives now in Tampa Bay. 1 ball, 1 strike on Felipe. He was at second base this afternoon. With the lefty, Schumacher sits, and last night Lopez a home run. He went 2 for 5. And that followed the grand slam from Brad Penny, who has been put on the disabled list. And the Cardinals are saying, hey, it could have been a lot worse. It's a grade 1 strain of the lat, which is a mild strain. And they said if this was, basically crunch time of the season, he'd probably be able to pitch, but no need to push it right now. So he goes on the DL. P.J. Walters is up, and the Cardinals bullpen, Al, you have to wonder, and you mentioned it last night, the valid point, who is available and where they could go. And that's caught at the line by Bobby Abreu. Tony was saying maybe 2 or 3 guys available down there in that bullpen. Matsui, Hunter, and Abreu in the outfield. Franzen, Ibar, Kendrick, and Morales on the infield. And Mike Napoli and Scott Kazmir the battery.
In a perfect world, we would have Wainwright or Carpenter starting this game. But here you see the roster move. Penny put on the disabled list. And P.J. Walters called up from Memphis. He was going to make the start today. So he will be obviously the long man in that bullpen if he's here. They were in Sacramento yesterday. Now, probably had enough warning to put him on a red eye, but still, he's going to be a little blurry-eyed if he took that.
Go through Houston, so he is here.
And unfortunately, we used to have, there you see PJ. We've seen him at the big leagues.
Well, you really pull for him, don't you, Al, with what he's gone through this year?
Yeah, he's only made, I think it's 3 starts, and they've been very good, but in spring training, his wife gave birth to a premature daughter.
Into rights, and catch made by Abreu.
And the child had a lot of problems, and eventually did die. And PJ was really missed all of spring training and really get his head together. So Cardinals were very patient with him. Just returned back a couple weeks ago, made 3 starts, and really he pitched very, very effective. So he's earned this promotion.
Nice round of applause for Albert Pujols. 2 outs and nobody on. Kazmir has 1 start against the Cardinals. 2 earned runs in 4 innings. Rays, though, would lose that game in 2005, 6-4. See the 5 games in this homestand. He's 6 for 16 with 1 double. And he did face Albert Pujols twice. Walked him in the first inning and struck him out in the 3rd that game in 2005. On the black, 1 ball, 1 strike. Pujols was asking for time and then did not get it. And Tony La Russa now moving Pujols into that familiar spot at number 3 in the lineup. Remember, homestand indicated the numbers he's produced in the 4-hole hasn't been a lot of power.
And maybe a byproduct also of the lefty on the mound. So Rasmus has been offering protection, and now Holiday switches with Albert. But this left-hander, like a lot of left-handed starters, left-handed batters have hit him around 500 average.
2-2. Good rep again by Pujols. But going back to the game last night, it's up to the discretion of the official score. who gets the win, who's been the most effective reliever when the starter is knocked out like that. And it went to Jason Mott. He picked up the win. Backhanded by the second baseman, Howie Kendrick. Pujols retired, and the Cardinals go in order here in the first. After one, there's no score from Busch Stadium. First pitch to Torrey Hunter was taken for a ball. Here comes a 1-0 from Kyle Loesch underway here in the second inning, and a swing and a miss. These two were former teammates in Minnesota. Marilyn Series is here from Davenport, Iowa, and celebrating her 70th birthday today. Husband of 51 years. Pass that along.
And Dan, we've never lost on her birthday.
No, we
her
have
70th birthday.
Marilyn and Rich here from Davenport. Swing and a miss by Torrey Hunter. Known for his very good defense, but he's got over 200 home runs in his career.
He's been a very good player. Yes. Last year, career best, .299 average. Third All-Star selection. 9th consecutive Gold Glove award. His first career Louisville Slugger award. He's hit 20 home runs for 8 straight seasons.
And gets a piece of that to stay alive.
Excuse me, 8 out of the last 9.
He's been much better against right-handed pitching, over 300, 260 against the lefties. He's riding a 7-game hitting streak here today at Busch Stadium. 3-2 pitch. And a leadoff walk. You know, talking with Kyle Loesch yesterday before the game, Al, he mentioned how one way or another he was going to figure it out with that 2-seamer and that sinker. He'll throw a 4-seamer, but the 2-seamers, the sinking pitch that he's had great success with in the past, and not to say that he got away from it, but didn't have the kind of success that he was looking for early on this year. And he went to it in that last start and just kept throwing it and figured it out. Needs a ground ball here. This is Morales.
I'm one that believes that you cannot really be a successful pitcher until you really have fastball command. It sets up all your pitches. It's the best pitch in baseball, and you know everything works off of that.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Kendry Morales. This is in. 2 balls, no strikes. He's the only Angel to play in all their games this year. Leads their club in total bases, home runs, and RBIs. Last year, really a breakout season for him. Cuban native, he was the Angels team MVP in his first full campaign with the team. That's outside. And all of a sudden, it's 3-0 and out to visit Jason LaRue.
Trying to work a little quicker, but not finding the strike zone.
Morales is a switch hitter. He had 34 home runs a year ago, which is the single season record for a switch hitter in Angels history.
He was team MVP last season in his first full campaign.
And this is hit out to right center field. Into the gap, Hunter on his way to third, and he's being waved in. He will score, and Morales has a double to make it 1-0 Los Angeles. RBI number 32 and a 1-0 Angels lead.
You got the 3-0 pitch. He's looking for any fastball. Gets it down away a little bit. Plugs the gap out of right center. Torrey Hunter. Talk about his ability to cover ground defensively. Well, he can pick him up and cover some steps when he's on the base paths, and he gives that first 1-0 lead.
Here's Hideki Matsui in his first year with the club.
Did very well against the Cardinals in interleague play, over 400.
Well, Loesch allowed just one earned run in his last start in 6 innings, and already there today here in the second. Last year, Matsui hit .274 with the Yankees, but hit 3 home runs in the World Series.
Torrey Hunter taught the inside part of the bag and his pivot around to third.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Matsui really in a tailspin right now, seeing that average dip down to from 300 plus to 226.
Spent 7 years with the Yankees. Hit 140 home runs and good numbers in interleague play.
Almost got 2,400 career hits if you add his Japanese total.
Yeah, he was a 9-time All-Star over in Japan. The 2-1 pitch. We've talked about it, how some of those players that have played over in Japan, especially when hitting from this side of the plate, they open up and it's like they're running to first, but yet a guy like Matsui, not only does he do that, but he hits for power. The others are more the slap hitters.
Right. He is the Japanese all-time leader in the United States for home runs and RBIs.
Here's a 2-2 pitch as they shade him to pull. Nobody out, runner at second.
He's a little bigger than some of the other Japanese players.
No doubt. We'll see Ichiro coming up in interleague play. I'm looking forward to watching that.
You and I were up there before his debut in the big leagues. We did an exhibition game in Seattle. Lou Piniella was telling us about this guy.
A high fly ball into right. Ludwig can get in good position to make a throw here. He will. A strong one into third. Look at that. That's how you draw it up. Outstanding from Ryan Ludwig in right field.
And Morales paying respect. Just a customary halfway, and then he immediately retreated as saw that Ludwig got in position. Look at how they line up for the relay throw, too.
As high as that was hit, it gave Ludwig plenty of time to get underneath it and get himself in the proper position to make that kind of throw.
And it wasn't terribly deep, so it would have been a mistake trying to advance on that one.
And that pitch is taken up and away by Mike Napoli.
Napoli hit a 2-run home run last night. He's got some power. One thing that's a little bit concerning right now is of the 4 outs, 3 of them have been recorded via fly balls. That doesn't bode well for your sinker.
And another one popped up on the infield. David Freese shading from the sun. Foul territory, makes the catch. Happily retired.
That was a breaking ball there that got underneath.
Southwest Airlines Fox tries.
Got the zone and got underneath it.
Here's Kevin Franson.
You know what I'm saying? That, it's one thing to throw sinkers, but if they're all elevated, you don't get the desired ground ball. And if you hit enough fly balls, especially with the warmer weather today, some of those are going to carry out.
So 2 outs and a runner at second. Here's Franson. It was a key out to get Matsui at the fly out and not being able to advance that runner from second to third. First pitch is taken a little bit low. Franson is the 8th place hitter, and then you have Kazmir on deck.
And Cardinal pitchers saw a little bit of Franson over the last couple of years with the Giants.
1-0 lead for the Angels, and the double by Kendry Morales. That scored Torrey Hunter all the way from first. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the second inning, 1-0 Los Angeles. Doesn't get the call.
Franson appeared in 174 games with the Giants between 2006 and 9. And he was claimed off of waivers from the Red Sox on April 29th. He's committed an error in all 3 starts this season. See if that continues.
He's played second, short, third, left field, right field in his career, so a versatile guy. 2-1 pitch. 2-2. Oh wait, he had a ruptured Achilles and missed significant time. Drafted by the Giants, 12th round of 2004, native of San Jose, California. 2 balls, 2 strikes, runner at second, and 2 outs. In the air, out to left. Holiday is there and makes the catch. So the Angels grab an early lead midway through 2, and it's 1-0. Upload a photo of fans in Cardinals gear, and you can win a new camera from Creed Core Camera. Enter now at foxsportsmidwest.com. And Holiday leads it off for the Cardinals, a 1-0 lead for Los Angeles. 34th wedding anniversary for Jim and Annette Ludwig from Keokuk, Iowa. They're here today. It's this date that Artie Moreno became the third owner of the Angels in their franchise history. And during his 7 years that he has owned the club, they've had quite a run. The Halos have won 5 American League West championships. They've drawn over 3 million fans for 7 consecutive years.
And you see, back in 1972, Mickey Rivers stole home versus Oakland. 9th Angel player to accomplish that. Straight steal at home. Remember Mickey Rivers?
I do.
Oh, one of my favorites all time.
I'm sure.
Just the quote machine he was.
That's one of your favorites, Mike Scioscia.
Oh, yeah. Mike and I spent some time in the Dominican together with Mickey Hatcher as hitting coach. At the end of my career, I got special permission to go back down to winter ball, and I actually roomed with Mike, and then playing against him when he came up with the Dodgers. We had a lot of fun.
1-2 is hit out to deep left. Did he do it? Finally, at home, a home run for Matt Holliday, 5th of the year. RBI number 17, and it's been a long time coming. A home run at Busch Stadium from Matt Holliday.
And the Cardinals pitching staff has allowed 28 home runs. The Angels starters, I think now, have allowed 51. Just their starter staff. That has been one of their problems. And there's another monkey off the back of Holliday, finally hitting a home run at home.
Yeah, the other day he had the big double with 2 outs. You know, he struggled with runners in scoring position, but first home run at home this year, and first home run overall in nearly a month.
And I think his last home run at home came middle of September. And take a look at it right one more time. He's got power. There's no doubt. He is the strongest guy on the Cardinals team.
This got out in a hurry as that went over the bullpen and into the seats and left. Measured at 427 feet. David Freese, 26 RBIs for David, hitting .310, 3 home runs. We saw last night Joel Pinheiro in his return to the Gateway City gave up a grand slam to Brad Penny. That was with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. It's only the 2nd time in the Angels' history that they've had a grand slam allowed by an opposing pitcher. Holliday there talking to Pujols, who bounced out his first time. And 3-2 is the count here on David Freese. We're in the 2nd of a 1-1 game. He draws a walk. Time again for the Cardinals Alumni Kids Clinics. These are great. Boys and girls ages 7 to 13 can learn baseball fundamentals from former Cardinals like Rick Horton, Kerry Robinson, John Mabry. All you have to do is log on to cardinals.com/clinics and find out about the clinic nearest you. They'll be in Fairview Heights this year, St. Peter's, Florissant, Afton, Manchester, Belleville, Chesterfield. Alan Bennis, part of that. Mike Crudale, T.J. Matthews, Scott Cooper, and a number of others. There's Colby Rasmus.
Saw Pat Perry the other day. Kenny Reach, those guys. John Costello was at the game. A lot of those guys give their time and expertise to help the youth around the community.
The Angels were so good in interleague play last year. They were 14-4. And since 2000, they have the 2nd best record overall.
And the Cardinals have the 2nd best record in the National League. But the Angels by far have a lot more wins.
And the American League by far a lot more wins. Thrown behind, and they almost threw it away. Saw that shot of Mike Scioscia. How about Mike Scioscia when it came to blocking the plate?
Oh, there's nobody better. I remember one of those great collisions was at Dodger Stadium involving Jack Clark. And I mean, it was two trucks running into each other head to head. And Socia asked him what town he was in, and I think he said Houston. But he was back there the next day.
The thing is, with a catcher, you're following the flight of the ball coming in. You're, anticipating the blow, but yet when it comes, my goodness.
There were times when you really, would be hung out to dry, just on what kind of bounce, where it was coming from. Runners would run over you a lot more than they do today. And Sosa was as tough as they came.
Lemaitre now is the Angels manager. Some believe he's the best in the game.
I had a long talk with him in the office today, and he was talking about some of his pitchers not really thinking about what they're doing.
Casimir here in this inning with solo home run and now back-to-back walks.
And I was talking with Mark McGuire today, and one of the things he said, and Mike Butcher will go out and talk to Casimir, but one of the things McGuire said, he said, I'd love if we can get a walk, 2 walks in an inning. The more we can really work the count. One, you see more pitches, you're going to wait, you'll be able to wait for the mistake. A pitcher will give you a mistake. But 2, you get that pitch count up to where you can knock a guy out earlier in the game and get into that middle relief where everybody's vulnerable.
And when the Cardinals weren't hitting, that was the one thing that we really talked about a lot. Not that necessarily they're giving away at-bats, but you just didn't see high pitch counts or grinding out those at-bats.
Well, they're giving away at-bats because they were expanding their strike zone, and they were getting themselves out. If you're not walking, one of the things you probably are doing is swinging at pitches off the plate.
So nobody out. Runners at first and second. And here's Jason LaRue. Molina with the afternoon off. The Cardinals wrap up the homestand tomorrow. Off day on Monday. And then we'll head back out on the road to San Diego and Chicago.
Jason's last start was his best, as he went 2 for 3 with his first home run. That was Sunday in Cincy.
LaRue. Fly ball into right. Backing up Abreu. Freeze will tag up from second to third. So productive out. Runners at first and third. We saw Brendan Ryan the other day with a base hit and a walk in that start.
Things are so bad for Brendan that the whole team was buzzing because he got a base hit and a walk and anything that could be positive. And now he'll have an opportunity right here to drive in a run.
To me, Al, I look at it as a fresh start. He's going to have to earn that playing time. We've talked about it. He's out of options, so he's here.
Yeah, and Tony talked in those terms that you're going to have to earn it because there's a lefty in the mound. Lopez is playing well. He's going to stay in the lineup, but Schumacher gets the day off, and Brendan an opportunity to earn some of that playing time.
And maybe also a chance to relax. Pressure is off. He's not out there every day. Just relax. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Brendan Ryan.
Easier said than done.
Sure is when you're looking up and you're hitting 167.
Not only that, but he wants to play every day. So he artificially puts more pressure on himself because he's trying to catch up for lost time. He looks at that average and says, boy, I've got to get 10 hits today.
And a 1-0 pitch. Catches the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. So both starters have run into problems here in the second inning. Fox Tracks tells you that was a ball.
It looked like it was away. I thought it maybe even a little bit more up, but.
And a 1-1 pitch to Brendan. Here it comes. 2 balls and a strike.
And the things are already improved. because it's 2 balls and 1 strike, where normally we're saying he's 0-2 before he steps in the batter's box.
Or maybe he would chase that pitch too.
Exactly. Which he was very capable of doing to his own detriment.
Ryan, little chopper, and a tag, safe at first. Run scores, and the Cardinals have the lead 2-1. Brendan Ryan hustling down the line. The heads-up play by the shortstop, Ivar, to apply the tag of the runner, and then Brendan hustling the entire way, beat it out, and it's 2-1.
Kobe could have maybe helped out a little bit and stopped. But he runs right and allows the man to tag him. He's out of the baseline anyway. Brendan with that good speed, he better be hustling on this. And he picks up an RBI for his hustle.
Two outs and a runner at first. So Freeze, who had walked, is the go-ahead run here in the second inning, and now it extends it to the pitcher spot, Kyle Loesch. Angels run in the first, or rather the top of the second, came on a walk. It was Torrey Hunter. He was driven in by Morales. We've seen their first baseman, Morales, and how he holds a runner on. There's different ways to do it, but with the lefty on, he had a couple of steps away from the bag, and here with the pitcher up, he's off the bag as well.
Shortens up his defensive positioning, playing in front of the runner. But he can still keep you in check. Saw Napoli last night throw out Ludwig on a straight steal. And he looked like he gunned it down there pretty good.
1-2 pitch. Pulled foul. The stadium is filled up on just a glorious afternoon for baseball here in downtown. Another packed house.
Another reason you want to get into the Angels bullpen.
Loesch strikes out.
Worst ERA in the American League.
Matt Holliday with his 5th home run and his first of 2010 here at Busch Stadium. A line shot into left. Big Mac land. It was 06, I think, that he had the 3 home runs with the walk-off. Oh, what a play here by David Freese. Outstanding. Playing in, and he takes the hit away from the pitcher, Scott Kazmir.
Ball really hit sharply. You see it far up the line. Just reaches backwards, spears the ball, gets to his feet, and throws him out by a plenty. But talk about a reactionary play. There was one right there.
Interleague play 2010. Sorry, Al, it's here to stay.
Shouldn't be.
Oh, I know. I know where you're coming from.
Now, the Cardinals, because of their storied history, always have kind of interesting matchups, or whoever they play, you can find a storyline. And obviously, whoever plays the Yankees or Boston, sure, other clubs feel that way with the Cardinals, but, you know, the Dodgers and stuff, the Cubs. But some of those matchups aren't too attractive.
Ibar trying to bunt his way on, and it's thrown away by Kyle Loesch. And did a fan touch it?
Interference, so he'll go back.
The fans help out the Cardinals.
Yeah, but rarely does a fan come into play, but in this case it does. We'll see what was that. LaRue a little bit close, may have interfered with the throw, gets into the line here. So look out with LaRue's right there. Now he got separation, but the ball way offline. Albert can't adjust to it as the runner. He knocked into the runner, and the fan did not. They kind of gave the sign as if.
That's what I thought. Tony even went out and he's pointing to the first base umpire, saying, "Wait a minute."
Yeah, he kind of gave the sign as if that fan interference, but it looked like the fan did not, and they're allowing Ibar to go all the way to third.
So it's a base hit and an E1.
Paul Emmel is our first base umpire, and he's down there and then trying to get out of the way of Ibar, who's looking to see where the ball is.
So the speed of Ibar over at third, and here is Kendrick. One out. Corners are in for the Cardinals.
Well, you got to just pitch a little better now. Scoring opportunity presents the Angels at the expense of Loesch, so you got to pop him up.
It's pitch number 41, and he has one out recorded here in the third. We've talked about, Loesch needing to go deeper into this game today because the bullpen is short. Hawksworth unavailable, and yet Boggs and Mott both go a couple of innings last night.
Mott, not only did he pick up the win with his 2 shutout innings, 6 up, 6 down, but he only threw 22 pitches. First pitch strikes, 3 of 12. That doesn't help. You do have both left-handers. You do have Franklin. You may not even want to go with McClellan today.
2-2. Yeah, he's pitched an awful lot on this homestand.
Pitched the last 2 days, so it'd be 3 in a row. Possibly.
Kendrick flied out to right his first time.
A lot of times what they do is they ask those relievers, play catch, see how you feel.
Now the infield charging in with the exception of Brendan Ryan, but Lopez, who is not charging to start the at-bat, the second baseman today for the Cardinals, charging there as we've gone deeper into the at-bat.
I would imagine one of the keys is for that infielder charging in is to come set as the pitch is being made, but it could be a major distraction to a hitter.
It's going to have to be hit hard with the speed over there at third base. Brings up Bobby Abreu. It's the second walk issued by Kyle today. Runners in first and third with 1 out.
If Abreu hits one on the ground, you probably have a real good shot at turning 2. you make a mistake, you have a real good shot of being on the losing end of the game. Put together a pretty good career, hasn't he? .60% of the time he scored that runner at third with less than 2 outs.
1 out, first and third. Here we go. And kept in front by LaRue.
You know, we started this game talking about how Loesch was going to really establish that fastball, and yet we're seeing an awful lot of breaking balls again. And of course, it's hard to throw that sinking fastball if it's chest high and producing a lot of fly balls.
One 1-0 pitch to Bobby Abreu. Falls behind again. 2 balls, no strikes.
There's the fastball there, but it's out of the strike zone.
Three and 0.
3-0.
Three balls, no strikes, 1 out. Runners at first and third. Runner goes, no. Big lead though, and that's a walk. And Loesch questioning the home plate umpire not to visit Dave Duncan. Bases loaded, third walk in the game, and back-to-back walks.
Sure looked like a walk, or a ball. As it looked like it was up and away. And it's up and away.
So bases loaded for Torrey Hunter. With his speed that we saw earlier, might be tough to double him up too.
Right, and because he walked the first time up, pretty patient hitter. Scenario again that you would like to think he's going to go out there and get ahead in the count, make his job a little easier, and I'm sure Torrey Hunter's got an idea that I'm looking for a pitch right there, and I'm going to belt it.
Bases loaded, and the first pitch taken for a ball. That's now 5 straight. Check that, 6 straight. Back-to-back walks following the single, then the air. So you got Ibar, Kendrick, Abreu all on the bases. 1-0 pitch. 2-0. Starting to hear some of the boos at Busch Stadium.
Well, the body language isn't good. You know, you struggling to throw a strike, and instead of being that really aggressive force and attacking, now you watch the veteran Hunter kind of step out a little bit, get underneath the skin.
And here's a 2-0 pitch. Ripped into left. 2 runs will score, and Torrey Hunter has given the Angels a 3-2 lead. RBIs 27 and 28 for their cleanup man.
Throw a strike, but see, it's up over the middle of the plate as early in the count tried to paint pitches, fell behind, and then he just gives in, throws it right down the middle. And Torrey Hunter or any of these big leaguers are going to make you pay.
And he falls behind here on Morales.
If you're going to pitch up, you want to be pitching ahead in the count to where you throw it up out of the strike zone and guys chase it. Now, a pitch up out of the strike zone that you get a hitter to swing at, that's going to produce your pop-up or your swing and miss. a pitch up in the strike zone is extremely hittable.
And Morales doubled to right center. First time up that scored Torrey Hunter that gave them a 1-0 lead. The Cardinals came back, tied it up with the Holiday home run to make it 1-1. Then Brendan Ryan would bring in a man to make it 2-1, and now 3-2 Angels on the bases loaded single by Torrey Hunter. That's pulled foul. The Angels started this season 4-2 on the road. Their last 15, they've only won 4 away from home. That's pulled foul. And the 1-2 is hit out to center. Colby going back. He'll look up, and that's over his head into the wall. 1 run is in. They'll hold up Torrey Hunter, and that makes it a 4-2 Angels lead. Second double of the afternoon for Morales. It's one of those times, Al, where you've really got to make sure, as you well know, that Loesch knows, hey, we need you no matter what's going on today to go deeper into this game.
Well, there's no doubt about it. And really what he's doing is there's no fear in any of these hitters. They're running up there. They're just taking liberties, swinging from their heels, and really not any.
That pitch was up and over Lopez into right. 2-run score. 6-2 Angels. The fans booing here at Busch Stadium.
You got to get mentally tough. You got to go out there and demand respect.
And a runner at first now with 1 out. Mentioned that P.J. Walters has been called up by the Cardinals, so we may see him this afternoon. He could be your long man if you need him.
Remember the error that Loesch committed, then 2 straight walks, then 3 straight base hits, and another pitch right in the middle of the plate. Nothing in or out. Nothing at the bottom of the zone. It's just right there saying hit me.
Strike 2 on Mike Napoli. What you're hoping here for the Cardinals, get a double play, but get out of this inning, no more unscored, and try to get Cal Loesch through at least 3 more innings. Get you 6.
Bullpen accounted for 6 frames last night. You just can't do that too often. And tough when it's back-to-back days. So, you said, he might have to stay out there and take one for the team.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to the catcher, Napoli.
Look at the body language. Just, just. Why me? Dave Duncan, you really want Kyle Loesch to come out there, really accept this challenge. I got to go deep into a ball game. My bullpen's a little thin. He's just rearing back, but everything's in the middle of the plate. If he does make a pretty good pitch, they're still getting some wood on it. Right there, a little slider, but it's just not doing anything. Just overthrowing every pitch.
Brendan Ryan flips to Lopez in a double play. 6-4 through. Regroup. Midway through 3 innings here at Busch Stadium. It's 6-2 Angels. Kazmir back to work. He'll get the top of the lineup. Felipe Lopez, Ryan Ludwig, and Albert Pujols.
And another aspect of that 5-run third inning. The team just got you a 2-1 lead, and you go back out there and just give it away.
Still a long ways to go here today.
You mentioned Carlos has to regroup. Go out there and really accept the challenge and say, okay, I already allowed 6, but they aren't going to get any more.
Felipe a little bouncer to first. Morales thought about going after it, but retreats back to the bag. You can follow the Cardinals on your iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, and Android phone with MLB.com at Bat 2010, featuring play-by-play video highlights and live audio broadcasts. For more information, visit Cardinals.com today.
Trailing 6-2. This team is very capable of outslugging the opposition. It hasn't done it much this season, but it is capable of it.
1 out, nobody on. Here's Ludwig, lined out to right, first time up.
Ludwig was trying to claim that he didn't go around. He did go, but I was wondering if he felt like he got quick pitch. Kazmir, he looks a lot more aggressive now that he has the big lead.
As he should, right?
Right. You gotta send that message to the hitters. Okay, you got a couple early runs off of me, but you aren't getting any more. I got this lead. I know how to hold it. Send a positive image out there.
1-2 pitch. Took something off it. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Dave Duncan one side, Jason LaRue on the other. everything that we had hoped that Kyle Loesch could build off of his last really good start. So far in this one is he hasn't picked up where he left off at all.
The 2-2. Ludwig. Abreu. 2 outs. Well, don't miss the Eagles at Busch Stadium on Thursday, June 24th. Field seats available for $99, 4-packs and 6-packs as well. All fees included in ticket prices. But the Eagles at Busch Stadium on Thursday, June 24th. And here's Pujols. Ooh, good rip by Albert. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs and nobody on. Pujols hit one up the middle sharply first time up. But the second baseman was there to make the play. That's Howie Kendrick. He's playing him more towards the middle. Time called by Albert, granted this time.
Well, you see how quick Kazmir is. He's wanting to set the pace, and it's a little quicker than what the Cardinal hitters want.
Memphis is at Sacramento, so that's where PG had to come from, and the Memphis Redbirds have won 6 straight.
There were no hit for 5 innings last night before they turned it on.
Opposite field, Abreu back, and with room on the track. Loesch back to work as the 4th inning rolls in when we come back to Busch Stadium. And back to live action. That's a ground rule double off the bat of Kevin Franzen. And here we go in the 4th of a 6-2 Angels lead. Not what you wanted to see to start the 4th.
No, not at all. We'll check and see. Set up away. Now the pitch is in the middle. It's down a little bit, but because nothing inside, they're just, very comfortable standing there and going across the plate to send that pitch away. Activity in the bullpen. DJ Walters was called up today. Starts the throw. Dan, we always talk about, that Albert Pujols, Holiday, because of their salary, that, they a lot of responsibility comes their way because they're being paid so much. The second highest starter on the Cardinal staff is Kyle Loesch. So why shouldn't some of the responsibility come his way too?
Sure. PJ could fill in for Brad Penny in the starting rotation. The Cardinals do have an off day on Monday. Penny's spot would be due Thursday.
Well, he's going to be used in relief for a few days, and then, as you said, he could make, depending on what happens, he was scheduled to make a start today, so he could, come in here for an extended period of time and still be in line for that start. Or you could skip him because of the off day.
One and two. It's tapped with a foul ball. Angels scored 1 in the second. That was on an RBI double by Morales. And then 5 in the third. So pitches thrown, the bullpen the last 4 days. Who do you use?
See, McClellan's been used the last 3. Well, you got Franklin. You've got both left-handers. Probably going to stay away from, Hawksworth is hurt. So he has this weekend off. He's nursing a groin injury. And he had that late in spring training also. So they're trying to get that cleaned up. You also, trying to avoid put him on the disabled list, but you might be wrong. Kind of a cardinal rule is you don't want to throw a pitch with your shortstop out of position or your second baseman. That's out of position as he's trying to help you out and trying to get a pickoff back there. Don't throw a pitch. Step off.
Here's a 2-2 pitch.
Did it again.
And it's hit the other way. It's slicing and foul.
It's just a concentration right now as Brendan's trying to help out Kyle Loesch. And Loesch just not paying attention. I'm just throwing to the plate no matter what. You see, throwing with your defense out of position.
Kazmir in his career a 111 hitter. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and a runner at second base. Time called. He was robbed first time up by David Freese in a very good play, backhanded. Freese is playing in as he is now. 2-2. And the count runs full. .72 pitches here by Kyle Loesch. And a swing and a miss. So he gets the strikeout. That's his first of the afternoon.
Freese playing in here is last season Ibar led the major leagues with bunt base hits. He had 18 bunt base hits.
You saw his speed on display last time up, Al, with that bunt base hit. Came around to score, and then the error by Loesch, and everything really unraveled after that point. 1-0 pitch. In the air. And Holiday over, but can't make the catch.
Tipping toeing right down there. Now Miller gets it, but look at right there. That spot there is it jets out, and that's where he's trying to run right along there. And look, he didn't run his knee right into that.
So the count is 1 ball, 1 strike. That's a better look at it there. Ibar fly to right and single. The 1-1 pitch. Loses his bat. That's strike 2.
Breaking ball way out in front.
He says he doesn't want the original. He wants a new one. That's going to make a difference.
It might. Doesn't have a lot of power. Through the bat maybe further than he can hit it.
1 out, runner at second. 1-2 the count, and it's 6-2 Angels lead.
He's really a slap hitter, especially when he's from the left side. So it's a guy that you do want to try and get him to hit the ball in the air.
He does, and lines it into center field. They'll hold up the runner as the throw comes into Pujols. It'll be runners at first and third with 1 out. Before and after every game right here on Fox Sports Midwest. Tune in for Cardinals Live. Pat Paris, Jim Hayes bring you the latest in Cardinals news. Cal Eldred, the former right-hander out of the bullpen for the Cardinals, is on the pregame show. Ricky Horton breaks down the action on the postgame show.
This could be his last batter. With Miller up and Bobby Abreu on deck. I think right now Jason Rue really has to kind of just.
It's going to be it right here.
It's going to be right here. I don't think Kyle wants to hear Tony's words right now, or thoughts.
Chevy call to the pen. Trevor Miller coming in.
Fourth inning, we got a pitching change. And our Snooks this day in history, May 22nd, 1993. B.J. Birdie, the mascot for the Blue Jays, is ejected by umpire Jim McKean after holding his nose on a call. I would think that's maybe a little thin skin from our umpire, the mascot.
All right, Al. We've got the lefty in now, Trevor Miller, with runners at first and third. And here's Howie Kendrick.
Interesting. It didn't wait for Abreu, the left-handed hitter. Trevor Miller would come in here, and
I guess if you're Tony, you're sitting there saying, how much longer, can I go with Loesch before the game gets out of hand? And apparently that was it. That was enough.
Chevy called the bullpen, brings in Trevor Miller, and Stoney also feeling that he wanted the best opportunity. He didn't want to allow the Angels to add to their 4-run lead. But you're really, in an ideal situation, you're maybe burning Trevor Miller with just one batter, hopefully a double play. Pop up in the infield is great.
Pujols here to make the catch. Big out. Let's go pitch by pitch and take a look. Presented by Chevrolet.
Trevor comes in here, he throws fastball down and in. Another one gets him to pop up, and you always talk about striking somebody out when you have that runner third, less 2 outs. Well, you can't strike anybody out until you get 2 strikes. So what you really are thinking early in the count is you want that pop up, and Trevor got it.
So here's Abreu, who is grounded out and also walked and scored in the third. So 2 outs, runners at first and third. And a strike right down the middle. Trevor came in a ball game in this homestand and got a couple of key outs, and one of those was against a right-handed batter. So Tony La Russa may be feeling a little bit more confidence in that regard.
He should. Trevor really outstanding. I think of him really when he came here as totally a situational left-hander, meaning no one really want to face lefties, but did such a great job last year. Left-handed batters only batted 135 against him. But right now he's a veteran. He knows what he has to do. He has to take on a little more responsibility. Angels have 30 steals this year and 46 attempts. Usually a much higher percentage success rate than that.
So 2 outs, 2 on. Here comes an 0-1 pitch. As Miller is set.
Ibar 6 steals, 5 caught steal.
He's leaning but not running. Pitch is taken for a strike, 0-2.
So important when Miller can get a fastball strike, because you know he's going to go with the slider. That's his bread and butter. That's what he throws right there, right on the block. And so when the hitter concedes a fastball and he can get ahead in the count, then he's really wondering what's he going to get. Maybe a fastball here.
And he got him. Abreu couldn't pull the trigger. Great work by Trevor Miller here in the top of the 4th. 6-2, Cardinals trail.
exhibition today, and
that was before the game, and
yeah.
I think that is right up your alley.
How about the control that they have over those dogs? When the prisoner tried to escape a second time, dog took off after him, and when the prisoner stopped, the dog stopped dead in his tracks within about a foot from him, ready to pounce if he started running again, but he did stop.
What they're paying that guy in the suit, but it's not enough.
Who needs a taser when you got the dogs?
No doubt. Here's a 1-1 pitch. I was surprised he didn't have anything on his neck or his head or his face.
Once again, we saw how well trained the dog was. But it shows you the trust that that particular trainer has, and knowing how well they have trained the dog, that he's going to stay with the arm, and he could do a lot of damage just with that arm.
You know, going to break in the pregame show, nothing was mentioned of that particular exercise that was being shown, and all of a sudden you went to a nice picture of Jim Hayes talking about Cardinals baseball. We had to break, and some guys getting chased down by a dog. People at home are thinking, what is going on at Fox Sports? It's out to deep right, and the catch made by Abreu. Holiday is already homered here today, so now he's 1 for 2. Chris head to toe in Cardinals colors, beginning with a Cardinals cap provided courtesy of U.S. Cellular. They're available to 25,000 fans ages 16 and older. Saturday, June 5th. Get yours by purchasing tickets at Cardinals.com. So Holiday flies to right. Kazmir now dealing with Freeze.
One of the real positives of Trevor Mills being so efficient, as it looks like he's going to go back out for another inning.
Charging, the shortstop making the play on a low throw is Eric Ibar, and Freeze retired after he walked the first time. And it brings in Colby Rasmus. Hey, congratulations to Cardinals season ticket holders Christina and Kendall LaRue on their wedding yesterday. They're at the game today celebrating their marriage with 30 of their family and friends. I want to thank you, Christina and Kendall, for being loyal Cardinal fans, and congratulations. Colby Rasmus.
Pick away and get something started here, don't we?
Colby walked his first time up.
Matt Holliday led off the second with a home run, then Freeze and Rasmus both walked. David did come around to score, but missed an opportunity to get more.
Kazmir may have slowed it down, and Ibar ranging to his left to make the play. 6-2 after 4. A teddy bear body of yours.
I am one of the best at getting the orchids to rebloom. The Japanese gardens at the botanical gardens are just pristine. A lot of weddings take place out there, the wedding pictures, stuff.
Miller back to work. It's 6-2.
I think I'm going to go there and get you a plant and then make sure you keep it alive.
Look at that plant all day and realize my buddy Al gave it to me. Wouldn't that be something? 1-1 pitch. Torrey Hunter hits it out of play. Al, you were surrounded by women in your life, and of course your nickname the Mad Hungarian, but boy oh boy, you have gotten soft.
And I had a padded room in my Atlanta home, but here I just plant flowers.
And say yes. A lot. Whatever they want. Yes. Holiday calls for it. He's got it for the first out. North Star is making this Sunday, tomorrow, extra special. It's Ice Cream Sundays, beginning 2 hours prior to the game in the Ford Plaza. You can join us for music, fun, games. Don't forget about that free ice cream while supplies last. North Star Ice Cream Sundays. 6-2 Angels. If you're joining us, Angels got 1 in the second and 5 in the third off the starter today for the Cardinals. Cal Loesch.
Trevor's retired 3 straight. Just in economical fashion, as he's only thrown 11 pitches.
Cardinals will have that off day on Monday, and it will be much needed after this weekend. And Penny not going deep, getting hurt in the ball game last night, and Loesch being knocked out of this game. It's 30 games in the last 31.
Brad Penny has been placed on the disabled list.
This is fought off into center and a base hit. So base hit by Kendry Morales.
Yeah. Pair of RBI doubles, and then now fights this one off. It's up and in, and he muscles it out over the infield for his third hit.
Matsui with a single and 2 RBIs, 1 for 2 today. Napoli on deck. The Cardinals have turned a double play, and they could use one here. We're in the top of the 5th and a 6-2 Angels lead on this Saturday afternoon. Scott Kazmir has held the Cardinals in check. Cardinals have just 1 hit today, and that's the home run by Holiday in the second.
Now the bullpen's got to shut them down and allow the offense to peck away.
Breaking ball and a strike.
Last night the bullpen accounted for 6 innings of work, only allowed 1 run. That was in the first inning when Boggs came in right away and got in a little bit of trouble, but he pitched another scoreless frame, and they're going to have to 5+ innings here today.
That's taken outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Much of the action around the major leagues is later this evening or tonight. Currently in the bottom of the 5th, White Sox leading the Marlins 3-0. Here's a 1-1 pitch instead, a check.
And our Fox game of the week, they're trying something different. That's going to be a primetime start, a 6 o'clock start, as they're going to experiment that instead of Saturday afternoons. Start some of those a little later. Maybe it was because of that 20-inning affair. The ratings were very good.
I know you were disappointed we missed that game.
Oh, I know. I mean, but you know, the network took it.
(2-1) is the count. 2-2. Matsui has faced Miller before. He does have an RBI and a .230 average. (2-2) and a swing and a miss. Foul tip held on to by Jason LaRue. Well, these two teams last decade have been to the World Series. Troy Percival, the former Cardinal, and other Cardinals part of that championship team of '02. Eckstein, Spezio, Kennedy, Lawson, and Troy Percival. Of course, 2006, the Cardinals with David Eckstein, Spezio, Edmonds, and one of the unsung heroes, Jeff Weaver, of that '06 run.
What do you think? I think Jeff Weaver ever regrets not re-signing with the Cardinals?
This is well hit out to deep left. Napoli goes yard, and it's a 2-run homer. 8-2 Angels.
His second 2-run home run of the series. Hit one last night, in here, and now it's 8-2. Breaking ball, and it left it up over the middle of the plate, sweeping across, comes into the visitors' bullpen.
Ball was crushed.
A spark plug, isn't he?
And now it's the 8th place hitter, Franzen. (2-0) pitch. 2-1. This big crowd here at Busch Stadium has been quiet. Another packed house. We were sold out last night, over 44,000. 2-2.
Third time the Angels and Cardinals have played in interleague play. All those games have been right here in St. Louis. Cardinals lead the series 4-3.
And this is well hit down the left field line, and it's off the wall. Holiday plays it perfectly, throws it into second, and in there safely is Franzen.
Franzen just misses a home run by about a foot, as high off the left field wall. Off the wall, caroms back to Holiday, and I wonder if Miller running out of gas a little bit. A.J. Walters will get up, and we have a feeling he comes in this game, he's going to be out there for a while. Trying to get another out.
Kyle Loesch, who now saw 6 consecutive Angels reach base against him in that 5-run third. And over to get it is Miller, and he'll tag out Kazmir, but more damage done. 8-2 in favor of Los Angeles.
Seasons in the last decade. I have a feeling both teams are playing right here. Yep. Yankees, Red Sox, Angels, A's, and Cardinals. Cardinals had a very successful decade. I think it was the third best in their long history. And Cardinals got their problems. They trail 8-2. They've been out hit 10-1. And Jason LaRue lined out to right field his first time up. He was 2 for 3 last Sunday in Cincinnati, including his first home run. He will face Scott Kazmir, who has held the Cardinals in check. Cardinals got 2 runs, Matt Holliday home run, and then an RBI ground out by Brendan Ryan. Those 2 runs back in the second inning, and he's working on a one-hitter.
And here's LaRue to start it off, and he'll shoot one down the right field line, slicing foul and out of play. Have to wonder what this does for the Cardinals now this week ahead. PJ has to pitch in this ball game. You do have the off day on Monday. Penny's spot would be due up Thursday, but he's gone. Be interesting to see how the Cardinals want to play this. LaRue pops it up. Cardinals have been out hit 10-1, as Al said, in this game. And there's another look at Eric Ibar at short. After the game, Cardinals Live from the Aqua Bar at Lumiere Place Casino. Interviews with Tony La Russa, Pat Paris, Rick Horton breaks down the game. Jim Hayes will be there today. It's U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live after the game right here on Fox Sports Midwest.
Well, obviously you could bring back Loesch, as Mather will pinch hit for Miller. P.J. Walters warming up again, so you know you can cover because of the off day. You can move Loesch to that game on Thursday. And if you really got into a bind, so you had a problem tomorrow, you always have the not the most desirable, but you know, you could put Hawksworth on the disabled list. He's got the groin injury. They were hoping that 4 days off, not pitching these 3 games, and then Monday that he'd be ready. But if you're forced to make a move, you could bring up somebody there to give you an arm for really tomorrow.
right in front of our camera, one of the fans was hit right on the face. And let's hope they're going to be all right. Come to the ballpark. We say it all the time. You do have to pay attention, and let's hope that fan's going to be okay.
You know, a lot of times, and applauding her, a lot of times the people in front jump out of the way at the last second, and your screen, you don't see it until it's too late. But do pay attention.
Two and two.
Albert trying to pay attention, pick up something.
So Ryan strikes out.
Now they're called back, and Wainwright will pinch hit. Cardinals do have Carpenter going tomorrow, and you know, if Carpenter gives you what he expects, he's going to go well into that game, and that's what they need.
What's on tap presented by Budweiser, the Great American Lager, tomorrow at 12:30, and that'll be with Jay Randolph and Rick Horton. Let me follow up your point, though, Al, is when you think about Carpenter, you'd love to see him go deep. Remember, though, his last start, he was really, really extended to the pitch count in that game. And ideally, I'm sure the Cardinals would say, well, let's keep an eye on it in that start tomorrow. But, you may be forced to stretch him out a little bit.
Tony and Dave Duncan know they got a warrior there, and he'll understand the situation. And remember how Duncan's philosophy is you pitch to contact. So you forget about strikeouts. You try and get guys out in 1 or 2 pitches so you can stay in there a lot longer.
1-2 the count.
Now you will have McClellan tomorrow. You will have both lefties. Even Miller, I'm sure, will be able to pitch. And you have Franklin.
Wainwright hits it to short. And the Cardinals are through in their half of the 5th. Kazmir's allowed just 1 base hit. All LA. It's 8-2. By Lumiere Casino, your next home could be on the house. River City Casino and Lumiere Place Casino and Hotels is giving away a $250,000 home plus 18-room makeovers now through July 2nd. Visit rivercity.com for details. And by AT&T, find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, rethink possible.
Okay, Dan. And your fan club?
It's a Blue Man Group. I guess that's the Red Man Group.
Makes sense to me. P.J. Walters.
Very good numbers in the minor leagues this year for PJ. It's our Chevy call to the bullpen when he's right. He's got a changeup that is very, very effective.
Well, PJ got his first look at the big leagues last season. Appeared in 8 games, including 1 start. And he gave up more hits than Ames pitched. He had a lot of trouble with walks, but I'm sure he's better. There's your changeup.
It's the second time that's happened to Eric Ibar in this ballgame where he swung and missed and lost the bat. So welcome back to the big leagues, PJ.
Just way out in front. I hope he has a third bat. Remember, he got rid of the first one. But there he's in his career. That's the 8 games he had last season. Memphis, he was 8-10 last year, but this year is a different story. A tragedy that losing a baby shortly after the birth.
And a ground out here, 2 away.
Good start. Missed all the spring training and had a late start to the season. Had, I think, 3 starts down there and pitched well on all 3 of them and finds himself here in the big leagues. Selected in the 11th round of the June 2006 draft.
There's Abreu, who is 0 for 2. He's been quiet. Struck out, grounded out, and walked. Now, PJ does not throw very hard. You see him top out around 88 to 90. But if he can spot it with a good changeup, he's got a chance to do some things in a positive manner here at the major league level.
6'4", 200 pounds. He's from Alabama. Attended the University of South Alabama, where he was a Sun Belt Conference All-Star and Pitcher of the Year in 2006.
3-0. One thing that they pointed out to him in spring training, which was very, very brief, as you talked about, because of the tragedy, throw strikes. You know, when he was here at the major league level, he did not do that. 4 straight to Abreu. So 2-out walk. And Sunday, June 6th, pick up a pet bowl for your furry friend. Compliments of Nestle Purina. They're available to 25,000 pet lovers ages 16 and older. Get yours by purchasing tickets at Cardinals.com.
Breaking ball and gets the benefit of the call. Strike 1.
This is Torrey Hunter. PJ in Sacramento last night, now facing Torrey Hunter. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, it used to be red eyes weren't that bad mode of transportation, but now you take a red eye and you have to make a stop. Makes it a little more difficult.
Sharply hit, and Brendan stays with it. Makes the play. We move to the bottom of the 6th, and it's 8-2 Angels. poll, what is your favorite Albert moment? And knocked out the eye in Big Mac land, along with the home run against Brad Lidge, the favorites. Special day for the Pujols Family Foundation. They were honored before the game. It's hard to argue with the Lidge home run, I can tell you that.
Yeah. Thought I would win by more than that.
I did too. Kazmir, the story today, along with the ineffectiveness of Kyle Loesch. Kazmir has allowed just one base hit. And there's the strikeout of Felipe Lopez.
Only his third strikeout, but good job of framing right there. Ball was out of the strike zone, but called. Edwards hit the ball hard twice today, nothing to show for him.
Pitch, but out of play.
Our good buddy Tim O'Connor is going to have surgery, hip surgery, later on this month. You see the standings in the Central Division of the National League. Cincinnati will play Cleveland later tonight. So the Cardinals got to come from behind here to stay in first place. And Aggie's going to have surgery on Monday on her knee.
Aggie Sirianni.
Yeah, her little meniscus. We'll have to wish her well.
I always called her the nicest lady at the ballpark. Maybe the nicest person overall.
She's definitely the nicest person and lady.
By the way, Scott Kazmir came in with an ERA over 6, and he's allowed just 1 hit.
Cardinal offense really just don't know if it's ever going to show up, do you?
Very inconsistent after the first few weeks of the year.
And a rarity last night as they scored 9 runs and without Pujols and Holiday in the middle of that.
2-2 pitch. Ludwig, a swing and a miss. So that's 4 strikeouts today.
Struck out 3 of the last 4 batters. His pitch count is only 83. Mike Socha said they were going to pitch around Albert Pujols, but he pretty much have gone right after him in this series.
Rounded out to second, flight out to right, 0 for 2.
Socha's strategy, and he did intentionally pass Pujols one time, also one time Schumacher, and both times it was foiled.
Little flare into center. Torrey Hunter there to make the catch. And Albert is 0 for 3. Kazmir rolling. 7th inning coming up. It's 8-2 Angels. second inning of work for Walters. Eight to 2.
Kind of get the feeling that PJ is going to be out there for the rest of this game.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully that's not the case because our no offense gets going. But and hopefully PJ is the winner of this game is with good pitching, and then we have ninth inning save from Franklin.
Kedry Morales, he's had a big day. Couple of doubles, RBIs, runs scored, 3 for 3. Average has jumped up to 296. 1-2. There's another liner, but caught by Holiday. We've seen some hard hit balls against PJ, but he's gotten away with them.
Well, it's a little bit out in front there. I mean, he hit it hard, but it wasn't really a stinging line drive.
And here's Matsui with nobody on and 1 out. We're in the 7th. It's 8-2. Next telecast for us on Fox Sports Midwest will be Tuesday out at Petco Park. Jaime Garcia will get that start.
You see those Padres, and I think runs are going to be at a premium in that series.
I'm sure this won't surprise you. I was talking with some of their folks yesterday, and they said David Eckstein, if you were going to put a C on somebody's chest to be the captain of the team, they'd say it's David Eckstein.
It doesn't surprise me.
Not at all.
And really, he's the type of leader they need for all those young players. Guy that knows how to play the game right and a winning attitude.
3-2 the count. Hey, you got to have guys like that, Al. You talk about it all the time, that have been there before, that have played on championship teams. He's won 2 World Series. That show the younger guys what it's all about and how to do it. Popped up. Ryan is there, makes the catch.
And Dan, I'm sure David is in a perfect position too with his manager Bud Black. They were together with the Angels.
Good point.
And you know, and I'm sure Bud has leaned on David and encouraged him to be a buffer between management and the players.
They've got great young starting pitching. They've got Heath Bell, who's an all-star at the end of their games.
Outstanding here in Gonzalez.
You know, they're kind of in a tough spot because I'm sure they'd like to say, well, that might be one guy that we could dangle out there, and I'm sure they have to get young prospects and lose salary. But if you're still in the race and you're winning games, it's a tough sell to your fan base. Good work by PJ. Time to stretch. 8-2 Angels. home run. Greg qualifies for the Hyundai Sonata drawing in September. To register, visit Dean Team Hyundai or St. Louis area Hyundai dealer. Along with the Mad Hungarian, Al Rabaski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. We're on Fox Sports Midwest. Tomorrow on KSDK with Jay and Ricky, and then off day Monday, and we'll be in San Diego on Tuesday night.
Holiday, solo home run. Send Abreu all the way back to the wall, and right field with a line drive. The only Cardinal hit.
One ball, one strike.
Talk about all the time how when you don't hit, you look flat. And the Cardinals look flat today.
2-1 pitch to Holiday.
Kazmier's retired 13 in a row. Mentioned 6.51 ERA, a 2-4 record coming in.
Holiday bouncer. Kazmier covering and out. Kazmier, one hit allowed. And this is a look at his last 3 outings here in the month of May. 4 1/3, 5 innings, 7 innings Monday, and today 6 1/3 and 1 hit.
Nine walks, 9 strikeouts coming in. He walked 20, struck out 28. David Freese has a 6-game hitting streak. Went 2 for 3 last night to extend it to 6. Earlier had a 9-game hitting streak. Leads all rookies with his .310 batting average coming in. Second in RBIs. Second in the National League with a .400 home batting average. Quite a start to his first full season. Come on, get the rally caps going. You guys halfway there.
1-2.
With the catcher, Napoli really standing up, trying to elevate the ball and getting David to chase.
Time call. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stavino on deck. In the air to left center. Willits, who's checked in the game, on the run and makes the catch with his good speed.
And played all the way over into right center. And Willits, who just went in for defense, we talked about a little bit last night how a few years ago he really impressed you with his speed, and he can make up some ground. That ball looked like it hung up, but it looked like it was still going to get down, and it was such a long run for the left fielder. And he got well over into left center to make that catch with ease.
2 outs and nobody on for Nick Stavinoa.
Tony trying to get a couple of bats for some of the extra guys. Stavinoa has been the Cardinals' best pinch hitter. This is his 20th pinch hit appearance. And he has 6 pinch hits with a couple pinch hit home runs.
That's well hit. Into left. And it's a foul ball. Ball was crushed.
Stavanoa, he had a 7-game hitting streak snapped Saturday, and most of those were pinch hit appearances. And just by about 8 or 9 rows to the left of the foul pole. He's already hit 2 home runs, the one against Trevor Hoffman. And then his second pinch hit home run was another one that was a game winner. It was a 1-1 game when he pinch hit late in Philadelphia. Gave the Cardinals a 2-1 lead.
2-1 pitch. And it's taken a little bit low, 3-1.
Telling Dusty Baker that Stavanoa realized a couple years ago he wasn't going to be an everyday player. His role would be pinch hitting. And he said when he went to the minor leagues that year, he concentrated every at bat, even playing every day, was going to be a pinch hitting. Baker said he had never heard anybody with that approach. He was very impressed with it.
Congratulations to our producer, Tim Trokey. Married about an hour ago to Angela, Mrs. Trokey.
And you think he's listening to the game right now?
Oh, there's a good chance. He doesn't miss much.
That kind of exciting life.
Are you listening to the game?
Just you.
1-0 here on LaRue. One and two.
Kevin Jepson, right-hander, warming up for the Angels. Probably the last inning of work for Kazmir as he's over 100 pitches.
Into shallow right. Is this going to drop? It does.
Look at this. 7-0 is going to circle the bases.
That's unbelievable. Routine fly ball that drops in for a hit. Stavanoa was running out. The second baseman went to go cover, and Abreu was playing fairly deep and right, so the second baseman couldn't make that play.
Yeah, Abreu playing very deep. No pop-up. This has to be made, and Abreu comes in. Short Hobson gets by it, and Stavanoa probably can't believe it as he's waved home. He had to look and see, what are you talking about? What a tough earned run there for Kazmir.
They call it a base hit, E9 on the play.
How do you get the E9?
Maybe they're thinking with him overrunning it and then getting a piece of it, Stavanoa would be at third. Instead, that allowed him to score. There's your error.
I think they were trying to give poetic justice.
Wow. This is a guy that was a Gold Glove recipient back in 2005.
He really doesn't run very well.
Brendan Ryan, a base hit in the right. LaRue to second, on his way to third. Because of the bullpen situation, P.J. Walters will have to hit for himself.
Yeah, that's good bat right there, slicing that pitch away from him, going with the pitch to the opposite field, still under control. And as you said, people are probably going to say, how can you do this? But, it's just The reality is you need the innings out of PJ more than you need his bat right now, or to replace his bat.
44,091 here today. 44091. Foul tip. Strike one on PJ.
Brendan Ryan running on the play, had the base stolen, but a swing and foul tip sends him back to first. Not afraid to swing.
And an 0-2 pitch to PJ. Runners at first and third. Long look by Casimir. Here it comes. Looks at a ball. Felipe Lopez on deck.
PJ's going to get a hit here.
You're saying PJ Walters gets a base hit right here, huh?
Absolutely.
They throw down to second, and safe is Brendan Ryan. Stolen base for Brendan. 2-2 the count.
The year, Brendan, that's his first steal of the year. That is if they don't walk it.
Base hit could make this game awfully interesting.
That's why, I mean, if they don't walk him, he'll get a base hit.
Angels will look back at that blue pit by LaRue. Casimir, for all intents and purposes, should be out of the inning. 2-2 pitch to P.J. Walters. Here it comes. Good eye. 3-2.
Make things interesting, Ken. There's a lot more pressure on Casimir than there is on P.J.
And a strikeout. 8-3, Angels.
Oh, there. They trail now 8-3. Stavanello stays in the game. He's playing right field. Mather moves from right to center. PJ back out of the field. And a lot of people are enjoying their refreshments, but they like to see a little more Cardinal offense. Cardinals only have 3 hits in this game. 3 runs. They've left 3 on. While the Angels have 8 runs on 10 hits, and they've stranded 5. PJ's 3rd inning of work. He's only allowed 1 base runner. That was a walk.
1 ball, 1 strike with nobody out, and P.J. Walters in his 3rd inning of work. There's a liner into left. Holiday won't get there. Cuts it off, and a base hit for Franzen.
His 3rd hit of the game.
Anytime we think about the Angels, Al, and interleague play, you think about Old Busch Stadium and Jack Buck and Darryl Kyle, 57.
That's right. See, Darryl Kyle pitched the Cardinals into first place the night that Jack Buck died. And then later on, Kyle, later that week, went to Chicago and died in his sleep. Cardinals went into first place that night.
First time we had ever seen the Angels.
You know, I was working the game with Joe Buck, and Joe told me, he said, my father's going to die tonight. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, well, you know, it's time. You know, it's time. And I said, why don't you get out of here? He goes, no, he'd want me to do the game. I'll get there. They're going to wait until I get there. And, you know, and I just, you know, once again, the class act of the Buck family, and that's the way Jack would want it. You know, he'd want Joe to perform his duties, do the game. Of course, Jack got us in first place, and he's always been in first place.
0-2 misses, 1-2 to Michael Ryan, the pinch hitter. Kazmir allowed 3 hits, and he very easily could have left with just 1 hit allowed. The 1-2. Two is hit on the ground to Pujols, and the only play is to step on the bag. This season, it's easier than ever to find the seats you want or sell tickets to the games you can't make. It's on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals. And you'll find great seats, great service on StubHub all season. All you have to do is head to StubHub.com and choose your seats today.
Let that bat go a 3rd time.
There's a changeup again. 75 miles an hour. 1-2 the count with 1 out. PJ looks pretty good, doesn't he?
He really has. You know, when this game's all said and done, Tony La Russa's going to praise PJ Walters for being a hero. The last thing he'd want to leave a young kid out there and just get battered around, but out of necessity he was going to have to, but he was going to be extremely pleased. This is his third inning of work. He's only allowed a hit and a walk, hoping to throw another 4 outs up there, all shutout baseball, and he'll be a real hero.
Two 2-0 on Kendrick. Ooh, there's a line shot right center, so that'll be the first run that Walters gives up. Kendrick is second. He'll stop there. That makes it a 9-3 Angels lead. Yeah, the 2 games last night again today just haven't been smooth. I mean,
no,
not a lot of flow to them on either side.
Just very similar games, just opposite ends, and ball up a little bit. Inside might even been a ball, but he shoots it out there in the gap in right center. Trade places with Franzen. And you know what I'm talking about. PJ's done a great job and just, you know, going out there, circumstances, traveling all night to get here.
1-0. Here's Bobby Abreu, who's walked. He has struck out 2 walks actually in this game. He's also grounded out.
PJ walked him back in his first inning of work, the 6th, and Abreu just stared him down.
He sure did.
It's just like, you know, the last pitch was a little bit inside. It was on, might have even been a 3-1 pitch, but it was inside, and it's like, how dare you walk me or throw something inside.
Abreu out to left. Holiday won't come up with it.
Great effort. Kept it in front of him.
That makes it a 10-3 Angels lead. Let's take a look at our Hardy's prime cut of the game.
Look at that swing. Back in the 3rd inning, 2-run single. Right there.
And a hard hit ball backhanded by Brendan Ryan over to Albert. Angels pick up 2 more. They've got 13 hits today, and they lead the Cardinals 10-3 midway through 8. presented by Bank of America. Cardinals banking only at Bank of America. Over 44,000 here today. And certainly the club has been disappointing in their performance here this afternoon.
Well, maybe we can do it against Bobby Casava. And see his numbers, 5-4. He was recalled for the second time, second stint on 5-11. He was 1-1 with 1 save. ERA just over 3 with 10 appearances at Salt Lake to AAA. He was a Rule 5 pick by the A's from the Angel system last season. Spent last year at AA Arkansas.
Ryan takes over in left, and Willits goes from left to right. And a bouncer hit to second.
Speaking of Little Rock, I hope our good friends Bob and Wanda Taylor are doing well. They're watching this game.
What an afternoon, huh? Ten to 3 Angels, and with one out, here's Joe Mather. Oh, and 2. Cardinals did get a home run from Holiday, and things looked good early on. Cal Lowe struggled in the start today. And the Angels got 5 runs in the third, 2 in the fifth, 2 more in the eighth. It's all added up to a 10-3 lead.
Kyle Loesch, his line is 3 in the third inning, 7 hits, 6 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 1 strikeout.
Oh, watch out. This next road trip, when you look at it with San Diego, the way that they're playing and the very good pitching that they have, that is not going to be an easy trip. And then you go into Wrigley Field, and it doesn't matter if they're in last place or first place. It's always a hotly contested series between the two teams.
No doubt about it. Cardinals would rather be in first place.
2-2 is hit out to deep left center. And that ball is off the wall. And Mather into second with a double.
It's a pitch out over the plate. Had a little top spin on it. Goes up against the wall. And Mather gives it a rise. Got that long swing. He's got a little power. Off the Ameren side, played perfectly, but not before the double. And as I mentioned, it's late in this game, but the Angels have the worst ERA in the American League. That's a far cry from their success a few years ago. Usually one of the best relieving teams.
Here's Pujols with a fly ball out to left, so they have held him in check in this series. Albert is 0 for 4 in the afternoon. His average is still above 300, but you do see how dependent the Cardinals offensively are on Albert Pujols and also this guy at the plate, Matt Holliday.
Well, Albert is 0 for 7 in the series. Holliday was 0 for 5 coming into this game. Hit the home run in the second, lined out to right in the fourth, and bounced to first in the 7th.
Holiday out to left center. Hunter couldn't get it. This will make it 10-4 as Mather scores, and Matt Holiday has a couple of RBIs. Now with 18 on the year. He's starting to swing the bat a little bit better here on this homestand.
He really is, Dan, and when you look at his track record, he is a slow starter. So really nothing uncharacteristic, but when you sign that big contract, people want instant results. He got off to a good start on the road. It was very slow here at home, but he's starting to pick up the pace. 6 for 22 on this homestand. David Freese trying to extend his hitting streak to 6 games.
For 2 today. Walked and scored back in the 2nd inning. Nick Stavino on deck.
Mentioned this is Double-A pitcher last year. He was selected by the A's in the Rule 5 draft. Offered back to the Angels. Been up and down a couple times this year already.
Three and one.
Never know. This team's very capable of having a big inning.
Little chopper to short. Freeze retired. Cardinals strand a runner. They stranded 4 in the afternoon. They have just 5 hits and they trail by 6 runs as we head to the ninth. To 4, Angels lead the Cardinals. And some changes now. As it's interleague play 2010. Game 2 between the Cardinals and Angels here this afternoon. Yadier Molina takes over at first base. John Jay's into the ball game. He's out left. And P.J. Walters now pitching in his 4th inning of work.
And a real hero.
Gave up 2 runs in the 8th.
When your starter goes 3 1/3 innings, little thin in your bullpen, somebody's going to have to step up, and PJ really has been that man. I'm sure Tony will praise him. Hopefully he'll throw another 0 up there and just only allow those 2 runs in 4 innings of work.
Happy 86th birthday to a huge Cardinals fan, Cletus Borgerding. Happy birthday, Cletus.
Get over there.
Popped up.
Get there. You got room.
And Morales has a life, 2-2.
It's a real tough play for David Freese going back on that ball. And with the left-handed hitting batter up there, you have to feel that Brendan Ryan and also John Jay were playing around, and so a much longer run for them. Terry Pendleton was very good going from third base back on a foul ball and making the play. All those girls scared to death. First two games of this series really almost the opposites.
Down the right field line, but fouled. And that's pulled foul again. Aaron down there putting a foot on that glove. And a walk. Home Depot doing more on defense. David Freese against Scott Kazmir here. A nice backhanded play early on in the ball game. Wonder if PJ is starting to wear down a little bit. Long night of travel and getting here to the Major League Club.
And that first outing, you kind of mentally wear down yourself a little bit, but I think Geared is a starter, and in his fourth inning of work, you know, he should be able to handle. It's only 58 pitches.
Two and one the count on Reggie Willits. In the air, Molina makes a catch.
EJ goes over here, and now he's got a responsibility to cover first base, and maybe we can get an easy double play.
Out at second, on to first, double play. 4 innings, couple of runs against P.J. Walters, back in the major leagues. 10-4, Los Angeles. favorite player of the game. 7 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs. He walked 3, and he struck out 5. Here's Nick Stavanoa.
Stavanoa's second plate appearance. He walked and scored back in the 7th. Let's make a charge out of him.
Stavanoa, broken bat, hit to short. Could see that coming. The English on that baseball. And an error.
We've also seen that Ibar really can play some defense, but as you said, that ball kind of came off the bat. It broke the bat. Really, look at that weird bounce there, and comes up on him, and never really found the handle of it. Might have been the easiest play he had without the English on the ball, and maybe that's the door the Cardinals were looking for. 3 errors in this game, 2 by the Angels. Minnesota scored a ton last night over Milwaukee, and they already have a 4-0 lead today.
Milwaukee is 10 games under 500. 1-9 in their last 10. Popped up to the right side. Playable. And the catch is made. Well, that's a good play over there near the tarp. You come to this ballpark if you're the Angels, and certainly many of these players haven't been here. They're not used to it. Trying to figure out exactly where they're at, so that's a good play over there.
You look down, you check, you look for that tarp. California teams aren't used to seeing tarps on the field. It's the play.
Al, I think we should send you over for bonus coverage to Lumiere Casino and let you go to the Aqua Bar and break this one down.
You know, I could break it down pretty simple. But I wouldn't want to take those guys' jobs, so we'll let them handle it.
Well, if you want, I can call over there and get you a spot on the desk with Jim and Ricky, but that's up to you.
Well, they can handle it, but very disappointing start.
Brendan Ryan with a couple of base hits today. On his way to second base. And it's second and third with 1 out. Skip Schumacher will be the hitter.
Cardinals lose their last bench man, and Schumacher. Ball running up and in, and inside out stroke from Brendan. So he's got an RBI on a ground out. Single, stolen base, now a double. This game stays long enough, he'll probably hit for the cycle.
Insightful commentary like that from Al coming up from the Aqua Bar.
And Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, out to talk with Schumacher standing at the plate. 1 out. Runners at second and third in a 10-4 game. They're scrambling in the bullpen to get ready. Fernando Rodney, former Tiger, warming up. Have Schumacher trade places with Brendan Ryan. Let's keep the merry-go-round going. That's good.
Face it out to left field. A run will score. Ten to 5.
Reason why you want to knock the starter out, get into their bullpen, at least middle relief, and pitch out away. Nice piece of hitting, just going that way with it. RBI single for Schumacher, who's really starting to heat things up.
Bullpen ERA 5.19. That's the third worst.
That's in Major League, so it's the worst in the American League, third worst in baseball. See the home runs they've allowed. A lot of those by the starters. Socha on the top step. It's not a save situation yet. And now Mike's going to make a pitching change before it is.
Bottom of the ninth. You always like seeing that shot, don't you? Youngster with their dad, grandpa, and Fernando Rodney is into the ball game. Or the kids looking for their dad or grandpa. Rodney can flat out bring it. He's a hard thrower. Former Tiger.
Tigers.
Last night with the crowd on their feet following the grand slam, Felipe Lopez would go deep. That was right after the home run and the grand slam by Brad Penny. Cardinals would hold on for the win. One out here, runners at first and third in a 10-5 game.
Homered and tripled in that game. Fifth time in his career he's had both.
Lopez has flied out. Twice he has grounded out and also struck out.
See, Fernando Rodney hit triple digits. His first 2 deliveries have been 93.
Base hit into right. And it gets through the right fielder. That's Willits. They're going to wave in another run. And Lopez winds up at third. The second error charged to the Angels. The other was against the shortstop, and this cuts into the lead.
Gets a base hit RBI. Then the E9, you see he started to slip, and then the ball went right through his legs. That allowed the second run to score. And Felipe ends up at third base. Mather will get his second plate appearance. He hit a double when he entered the game.
Hit it off the wall, almost knocked it out of the ballpark in left center field.
You never know. Just never know. Play a hard 9. 8 base runners. There's your rally caps. We were looking for him earlier. I mean, he's got a streak of 27 consecutive saves at home. There's talk among active closers. Opponents limited to a 186 batting average. He converted all the save opportunities, 5 when Fuentes was on the disabled list.
You could have the potential of a situation where the tying run comes to the plate if Mather can get on base.
Mike Socha brought in Rodney. It was in a non-save situation, but gave him a little leeway. Didn't want the Cardinals to get that much closer, and had a little base hit. Should have scored 1, but the error in the right fielder allows 2 runs to score. Fuentes is starting to warm up now.
Well, that's the last thing they thought they were going to have to do today.
No, I mean, they had a lot of times in a game like this, you know, as a closer, you shut down mentally because you really can't envision any reason why you would even get up. Now, this game, all of a sudden, he does have enough time to restart those engines and mentally prepare for an assignment, but you're still really hoping you don't have to overuse your reliever.
Popped up on the infield. 2 away. So 2 outs and a runner at third in this 10-7 game. Molina's on deck. And Molina is in the cleanup spot, playing first base, and Jay is in Holiday's spot. Holiday with a home run and a double. And quickly 2 strikes.
Cardinals down to their last strike.
And that's the ball game. 98 miles an hour from Rodney. Blew it by John Jay, and the Cardinals lose game 2 of the series, 10-7. Loesch will take the loss. As he was roughed up in this ball game, he'll drop to 1-4. Casimir outstanding in his work. 10-7, the final today.